So in this session, we can discuss about the floral morphology. Let's see what are the parts of a flower. The stalk of a flower is called the pedicel, and a flower which have a pedicel is called pedicellate flower, and a flower which does not have a pedicel is called sessile flower. The outermost word of a flower is called sepal. The units of sepal or sepal is the units, and the sepal, all sepals togetherly called calyx. Next to sepal, that's a colored leaf-like layer is present, that is called a petal. And if the petals are fused, it is called a polypetalous. If the petals are free, it is called if the petals are fused, it is called a gamopetalous. And if the petals are free, it is called a polypetalous. In sepals also, if these sepals are free, that is called polysepalous. And if the sepals are united, it is called gamosepalous. So there is polysepalous and gamosepalous condition. And if calyx and corolla are not distinguished, we cannot differentiate between calyx and corolla, the condition is called perianth, and it is not defined as either calyx or corolla, but it is defined as perianth. And if a flower is having calyx, corolla, androecium and gynoecium, that flower is called a complete flower. If any one of the word is missing, it is called incomplete flower. If only one sex organ is present, either male or female flower, or either it is having androecium or gynoecium alone, that flower is called a unisexual flower. And if both male and female parts are present in a flower, reproductive parts are present in a flower, it is called a bisexual flower. In a plant, if it contains both male and female flowers, that is called a monoecious plant. So here, flowers are male and female. They are distinguished, but both are present in the same plant. It is called a monoecious plant. And if male flower is produced by male plant, and if the female flower is produced by female plant, it is called a dioecious plant. It is called a dioecious plant where male and female flowers are present in two different plants. So monoecious means male and female flowers are present in the same plant. When the male and female reproductive parts are present in the same flower of a plant, it is called bisexual. And if male plant produce male flower, and if female plant produce female flower, that condition is called dioecious. And if gynoecium is female flower is present along with bisexual flower. In a plant, there is bisexual flower. Along with bisexual flower, a female flower is also present. It is called a gynomonoecious flower. And if a plant has bisexual flower, along with that, it has a male flower, that is called andromonoecious flower. And if a plant has bisexual flower, male flower and female flower, the condition is called trimonoecious flower. Let's discuss about the symmetry of the flower. How can we cut a flower so that we can get mirror images? That is called symmetry. And if a flower can be divided into two equal halves through different planes, that is called actinomorphic symmetry, or radial symmetry, or regular symmetry. And if it can be cut to two equal halves only through one plane, that is called zygomorphic flowers, or it is called a bilateral symmetry. And if a flower cannot be cleaved into two equal halves through any of the plane, it is called asymmetric or irregular flower. And the flower is defined as a modified shoot. So there are nodes and internodes are present. If the internode between the calyx and corolla is called anthophore. That means this is calyx and this is corolla, petal. This is sepal and this is petal. And this much distance is called anthophore. Okay. And the distance between corolla and andrecium, you know that there are four words: calyx, corolla, andrecium and gynoecium. So the distance between corolla and andrecium is called androphore. And the distance or the internode between corolla and gynoecium are called gynophore. So the internode between corolla and gynoecium is called gynophore. And when both androphore and gynophore are found in the same flower, that is called gynandrophore or androgynophore. Gynandrophore or androgynophore. Okay, 4 point. If in a plant or in a flower, thalamus grows extensively. Thalamus elongates above carpal. Gynoeciuminte മുകളിലോട്ട് thalamus വളർന്നു പോയാൽ, that is called carpophore. That is called carpophore. The thalamus elongate to become a stalk. That is called carpophore. Now let's see what are the variations in andrecium. What is stamen? It's a unit of andrecium. Andrecium is the collective or collection of stamens. Anther is the tip of the stamen which bears pollen grains. Filament is the stalk of the stamen. Connective is the point which connects anther lobes to the filament. And when the stamens are arranged in a pattern 4+2, then it is called a tetradynamous condition. Tetradynamous, that means 2+2 in one bundle. These are larger, and that is 4 in number, and 2 smaller. That is called a tetradynamous condition. 4 larger, 2 smaller stamens. That is called a tetradynamous condition. See, there are 6 stamens, 4 are larger, 2 are small, and the 4 larger stamens are arranged in 2 bundles. Okay. See this diagram. These are smaller stamen, these 2 are larger stamen. Here these 2 are larger stamen, this is small. So once 2 larger, this is 2 larger, 1 and here, 1 here, 2 smaller. Such condition is called a tetradynamous condition. And if the staminal filaments, the filaments are united to form a single column, and if anthers are free, such condition is called a monodelphous, and that we observe in Malvaceae family. And when they are united to form 2 bundles, the stamens are united to form a tube, but they are formed into 2 bundles. 2 bundles, that is called a diadelphous condition. And if it is more, it is called a polyadelphous condition. And this is diadelphous. One is free and others are fused together. All filaments of a stamen are fused together to form a single bundle. So it is monodelphous. and the filaments are free and anthers are united. If the filaments are free and anthers united, such a condition of stamen is called syngenesious. Now let's move on to carpels. Carpels are the unit of gynoecium. Each carpel has an ovary, style and stigma. Ovary is the portion which bears ovule. Style is the filament. Stigma is the tip portion of the filament which is receptive for receiving pollen grains. And within the ovary, placenta are present to which ovules are connected. And the spaces, the internal cavities or spaces within an ovary are called locules. So this is the typical carpel, ovary, style and stigma. And this is the receptacle or thalamus, and this is the ovary, this is style and stigma. Now what are the types of carpels? If a plant is having many carpels which are free, which are not united, 1, 2 in this diagram, you can see 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 carpels. These 5 carpels are not united. Such a condition is called apocarpous condition. See, apocarpous condition, here carpels are free. And if two carpels are fused together, if two carpels are fused, or if the carpels are fused together, that is called the syncarpous condition. Syncarpous condition. Here see, carpels are fused. The division of the stigma shows how many carpels are fused. Here 3 carpels are fused. This condition is called syncarpous condition. Now, and if a single carpel is present in a plant, that is called a monocarpellary, and that is in the middle. And if only one carpel is present, that is called monocarpellary. Here, a single carpel will represent the androecium. So, when only one carpel is present, that flower is called unicarpellate. Otherwise, it is called multicarpellate. Now, depending on the position of ovary, if the ovary is having a superior position above sepals, petals and stamen, that is called hypogynous condition. See, hypogynous condition. Sepal is on the bottom, and there comes the sepal. Sorry, sepal is on the bottom. There comes the petal, and there is stamen, and then comes the carpel. This is called the hypogynous condition. And in perigynous, ovary is as I told you, in perigynous condition, see this diagram, ovary is halfway. See, the ovary portion is within the thalamus cup. This is rosa. This is the thalamus cup. The ovary portion is within the thalamus cup, but style and stigma are above. So, the gynoecium is halfway inside and half outside. This is called a perigynous condition. And if you go to epigynous condition, see, ovary is totally below, and that is completely covered within the thalamus cup. From the rim of that thalamus cup, there is origination of calyx and corolla, gynoecium and everything. So, here ovary is inferior, and this is called epigynous condition. See, this is an example for, see this diagram. This is how epigynous condition. See, this is ovary. This is the epigynous insertion. And see, this is the tube. This tube in the middle, from above this tube, this tube undayittu, this tube in the rim petalum, sepalum, stamen, and that's the difference. And as you know, bracts. What are bracts? Bracts are the specialized leaves present on the floral axis and which subtend a flower. And plant with a or a flower with bract is called a bracteate flower, and a flower without bract is called a bracteate flower. And when a number of bracteoles, what is bracteole? Bracteole means if between bract and see this is the first bract and above the bract below the calyx. If above the bract and below the calyx, if some leaf-like appendages are present, that is called a bracteole. That is the definition. If above the bract or between bract and calyx, if leaf-like structures are present, that is called they are called bracteoles. Now, and as I told you in the last class, what is caducus? Sepals fall away at the time of opening of flower. Deciduous means sepals fall only after pollination, and persistent calyx means they will retain till the end. See, for example, tomato, brinjal, etc. Now we know what is polypetalous. Petals are free. Gamopetalous means petals are fused. And when a single flower is, or when the flowers are produced in a plant singly and not as a group, that is called solitary flowers. But when the flowers are fused, they are called, or when the flowers are seen in bundles, they are called inflorescence. So inflorescence are of two types. One is called racemose inflorescence and second one is called cymose inflorescence. And in cymose inflorescence, the axis, the main axis terminates in a flower, and further growth of that inflorescence is from lateral buds, and this is called cymose inflorescence. And in cymose inflorescence are of different types. In this is called a simple sign. Here it's a bunch of 3 flowers. First flower terminates in a, or the apical meristem terminates in a flower, and from the bud 2 small flowers will be produced. This kind of arrangement of a flower is called simple sign. And when 2 simple signs are present, and that is the terminal flower ends, the terminal or the meristematic region or the tip of the branch terminates in a flower, the lateral bud develops to form a 2 single sign. Simple sign, this is called a compound sign. And second one is called a scorpioid sign, where the terminal bud or the meristematic region terminates in a flower. Then the branches will be produced towards one side, towards only one side. First flower will be produced like this. From that bract, second will come. From that axil or from that axil of leaf, third one come. Like this, when all flowers are produced in one direction, they are called scorpioid sign. Now we are moving on to a portion. നമുക്ക് പഠിക്കാനുള്ള പോർഷൻ ആണ് ഇൻഫ്ലോറസൻസ്. ഓക്കെ, അപ്പോൾ ഇവിടെ തൊട്ട് നമുക്ക് ഡീറ്റെയിൽഡ് ആയിട്ട് തന്നെ പറഞ്ഞു പോകുന്നതാണ് നല്ലത്. അപ്പോൾ അതുകൊണ്ട് ഞാൻ ഇവിടെ ഈ ക്ലാസ് നമ്മളിവിടെ റിവിഷൻ നമ്മളിവിടെ നിർത്തുകയാണ്.